everyone. I'm Wolfman Sam, here with my partner Johnny Buff Guns.
Hello.
And we are Creatures of the Night.
How y'all doing? Hope you had a nice holiday and Happy New Year.
Yes, happy Christmas, happy holidays, or Happy New Year. You know, this is post all that Christmas craziness, but you know, we were kind of speculating on whether to do a Christmas episode, but we just couldn't find a time. You know, everything is getting kind of busy between the two of us. But we're here now.
Yeah.
And John, you want to start us off?
I guess here to start it off again, no particular order. I guess this is something I've been thinking about for quite some time since we talked about this. How do Krampus and Star Wars Force Awakens hold up after 10 years?
It's a good question. As someone that saw Force Awakens on opening night, I kind of soured on it, but in my personal opinion, it's a nice little remake of New Hope. I think it's harmless. It was kind of before the Disney bomb dropped, so to speak, and Disney kind of took over and things went real sour on Star Wars. So, you know, I think it holds up. Krampus, I always had a soft spot for Krampus. Ever since I saw it pretty recently. It took me a long time to actually, you know, get around to seeing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I saw it maybe 4 years ago. Not that long ago, and I know it's older now, but, you know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, the effects are awesome. Is it one of the best Christmas horror movies, you know, ever made? No, I'd probably say that would probably be the original Black Christmas.
So that's a different. Well, that's a different.
74.
Right.
But it's a good movie, and for anybody who hasn't seen Krampus, I'd give it a watch if you're looking for some alternative Christmas movies, so to speak.
Right. Well, I agree. I saw Force Awakens when it came out, you know, opening night with my friends, and at the time, I liked it. But sometimes I joked to myself, was my mindset different 10 years ago because I was going through a lot of personal things at the time that, like, my mind was like, yes, this movie's awesome, it rocked. And then 10 years later, I'm like, okay, I
will say this, right? When I saw The Force Awakens, I saw it on opening night, and I will never forget because the Star Wars fans, who, you know, I've been a long time Star Wars fan myself.
Same.
Guys, I grew up with the VHSs of the prequels. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, for giving me such an awesome theater experience, thank you.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I will paint you the picture. I will tell you a little bit of story. So I went with opening night, midnight showing with a friend, and every generation of Star Wars fans, from the old folks from the 70s to the new generation to my generation were there, dressed up in costumes, lightsabers akimbo. Theater was packed, right? And we're waiting. And keep in mind, this has been years. The last Star Wars movie we had was the prequels. This has been years since we got anything new Star Wars, right? And you know how theaters go with the preview for the previews. You know, the crowd was getting restless. They were like, "Oh my God, this is bullshit Star Wars movie." When that first note of the famous crawl hit, I could not hear myself. All I could hear was the cheers of the fans, me, you guys, everybody in that theater, like a rock concert, just
right.
And it was because of the fans. Now the movie itself, it was okay. It's a good remake, I think. It's a good spiritual remake.
Or requel, if you want to call it.
Or requel, reboot, whatever you want to call it. But I will never forget the wonderful experience that my fellow Star Wars fans gave me.
Yeah.
It was one of the best experiences, and thank you guys.
Yeah, I can agree on that. Yes, it was a good experience. Like I said, I saw it in the theater, a midnight showing with friends, and right
Yeah.
when the moment John Williams' score came on, people were like, "Yes,
Yeah,
yes!"
everybody in that, it was like a rock concert. It was,
Yeah,
I couldn't hear myself. Fans were cheering, yeah, yeah. The
yeah,
energy was just
yeah,
like if it was a like the force was strong. To geek out. Like I'm convinced that if it was any stronger, the seats in the theater would lift up and we'd have force lightning lightsaber battles in the theater. Like that's how
yeah,
strong it was.
yeah,
That was the
yeah,
last time Star Wars was Star Wars. Was
yeah,
Force Awakens. That
yeah,
was a fixed
yeah.
point in time.
And also, anytime like Han Solo, Princess Leia, or
Oh
C-3PO
yeah,
came on board, people were like, "Yes, yes, thank
yeah,
you,
yeah. People, I could
yes."
not hear myself think. That's
Right,
how loud it was.
right, right. When I was rewatching Force Awakens, I still have that echo in my head of when I
Right.
first saw
I
it, thinking
still
about
have
that moment.
the cheers of the crowd, us
Right.
cheering. Just and by the end of it, we're like, oh, what's the future? Are we gonna get more things like that? So we
Yeah.
were hype. We were hype,
Yeah.
and then the Last Jedi happened.
Yeah. Unfortunately, which
It
I
was a
hate to
bit. It
say
was a
now.
bit like. It was a bit like having the return of the girl you always had a crush on, right? And you're having the most wonderful day, and you're thinking, "Oh man, it's been so long since I've seen you," and then she pulls up with the most douchebag husband you could ever think of, like the scum of the earth. And she goes, "Oh, it's nice to see you. Bye." And she kind of
I can
mouths
relate.
the word "help." As,
I can relate to that to some degree, but that's a different story.
but
But anyway,
yeah. Like it was like the bridge between Force Awakens and the Last Jedi. Force Awakens was like maybe possibly to do a weird analogy, like the birth of your own son or daughter, right? And then
yeah,
Last Jedi was finding that same son or daughter just completely mangled by some stranger. You're like, what are they doing to my boy? What are they doing to him? They mangled him. They put him in a dress. He's got a penis implant. What the? But that's how it felt by Last Jedi. It was like they destroyed our childhood
yeah, pretty much.
gleefully. Gleefully.
Yeah. Or if actually, yeah, you're right. No, wait. Rise of Skywalker was the third one, right?
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker,
Okay.
I completely missed. I caught the cliff notes of it, and I was just like, man, I'm glad I didn't dodge that bullet because
Yeah,
it would
well,
have been how I felt with Force Awakens all over again, maybe even
yeah,
worse.
yeah.
You know?
Well, like I said, I haven't seen Last Jedi: Rise of Skywalker since the theaters, and I don't know. They were
Yeah,
just
it was one of the worst theater experiences.
yeah,
I had never been so angry walking out of a theater
yeah.
because,
In
like I
fact,
said, it's like someone took your child and did the most horrible thing
right.
you could ever
They,
think
yeah,
of,
they basically ruined
and then smiled at
Skywalker.
you. You know?
Yeah, especially how like Luke Skywalker is my favorite Star Wars
Yeah,
character.
yeah, and even Mark Hamill was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of an insult to see one of my favorite childhood characters
Yeah,
go out
it was a
terribly.
giant loogie in every in the faces of the
Yeah,
Star Wars fans.
actually, that was the other thing. At the time when I saw Force Awakens, I'm like, "Where's Luke Skywalker?" He didn't show up until the end of the movie. I'm like, I had to wait 2 hours for this.
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah,
Yeah,
2 hours of Mary Sue Ray of
yeah,
being like not even force sensitive, and it was kind of building up. At least for Force Awakens, for her to be related to somebody. Is she a
yeah. That's what I
Palpatine? Is
thought.
she a
Yeah,
Skywalker? Nope.
yeah,
She's just a nobody.
yeah. They kind of
She's
like
a
went up and
nobody.
ended that. Yeah, they just really
That
burned the
whole thing about
chances.
Jedi training and that you have to train your ways in the ways of the Jedi to get to be Force sensitive. Nope. Nope. Chosen one, prophecy.
Yeah,
Nope. We're throwing that out
and
the window.
and
Thanks, JJ.
and sorry for another spoiler right here. It turns out also Kylo Ren is the son of Han Solo.
Yeah, I think now it's safe enough to be spoiler free. I think
That's
the
true.
people that have seen it. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, you're not missing much. You're
No,
not missing much.
if you love the original trilogy, then enjoy a redo over again.
If you love everything about the original trilogy, including the prequels, which that was the other funny thing is a lot of people were like, "Man, the prequels weren't so bad." I was like, "Where were you? I always loved the prequels. Where were you?
I was
Get
here
off
and there
my
with the
lawn."
prequels. I was here and there with the prequels. It's like I can take it or leave it. With some moments that I liked, and other moments I can leave out.
Yeah, I mean, the prequels were goofy, but so were the originals.
That's true.
They had
At
goofy
least,
moments,
oh yeah,
and who doesn't like Darth Maul?
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Yeah, and also, like, to me, like I said, at the time seeing Force Awakens, it was a good experience. It was fun. It got my mind off of personal things that were going on in my life.
Yeah,
But yeah,
same. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It
and
was like
yeah,
I needed that 2 hour escapism to escape reality from my
yeah,
personal life.
yeah, and like I said, and I will state this again for the people watching, for the Star Wars fans, the people watching, you know, thank you for giving me one of
Yeah,
the best theater experiences ever.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. But the other thing is, it's hard to believe 10 years already. It's like, where did it go?
Yeah, yeah, that's why I say don't blink. That's why I say don't blink. I was looking
Right.
up certain movies that I had seen in high school. Like
Yeah, same.
I just rewatched a movie, great like feel good movie called The Way Back.
I
Came out in
remember that.
It came out in 2013.
Let me see.
Um,
Wait, let me look it up.
it's a great movie, it's a great feel good movie. It kind of goes up. It kind of starts off on a low note though, but it's a great feel good movie.
I do remember this movie. Oh yeah, Steve Carell played a good douchebag in this movie.
Yes, yes. It's probably one of Steve Carell's like most diverse roles because he does not play the goofball. He
No, he's an
basically plays,
asshole.
yeah, he plays the villain, like a straight up
Yeah,
villain.
yeah. I wanted to beat the shit out of him because he was a terrible stepdad to the kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But like I
and his
said,
and
if you guys haven't seen it, which most likely, give it a watch.
yeah,
It's a nice feel good movie. And it's something that personally at the time coming right out of high school, I could sympathize with the main character. A
right.
lot of
Well,
what he felt in the beginning of the movie was basically how I felt, just kind of an outsider
right,
vibe.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had to rewatch it. It's been a long time, and having
yeah.
speak with being on this topic, Tony Collette was in that. She was in Krampus, and I have to give my thoughts on Krampus.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. To me, like with Krampus, I like the look of the movie. Like the atmosphere is amazing and stunning, but I just don't like the characters of the film. Is where it falls flat for me.
I can see, and that was really kind of the naysayer with me, is the characters felt too stereotypical,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Especially the conservative family.
yeah,
The
yes,
gun
yeah,
toting, meat eating, and they're assholes and stuff. It's
yeah,
just like I'm like I feel like if you really wanted to do this trope, you could have written it so much better to where it doesn't seem like a caricature.
yeah. Well,
You
especially I was
know,
written. It was done by the same guy who did Trick or Treat from 2007. I had too much high
which I
hopes.
like. I like trick or treat.
Yeah,
But
so do I. Yeah, to me, Krampus, it's like
and Krampus is okay. I feel the same way. I'm torn. I like the
yeah,
creature effects. The only
yes,
nitpick is just the writing on the family themselves.
Yeah, I could care less if they survived or not, or they
And
really
I think
did.
that's the point. I think that's the
Yeah,
point. I think it's kind of the where you're rooting for the villains kind of thing. Kind
yeah.
of
You know,
similar to Trick or Treat,
I guess, but
kind of
that was
a
more
little bit.
anthology. Yeah. Instead, we're stuck with this like family that I don't seem to give a crap about. They lived or died or survived, and
Right, and I think that was the point. I think that was the
yeah,
point. Which,
yeah,
again, I feel like you could have written them to be less of a caricature of evil or bad, and more believably
yeah,
bad. Imagine if they
yeah.
were imagine if like the father was like a straight up murderer,
I
or like
guess.
like the son was like a Jeffrey Dahmer in training, and like just truly evil and vile people. Like if you really wanted to, and I feel like having that rather than them just kind of be assholes.
Right.
I feel like
Well,
them being truly evil would make their comeuppance
well, that
much
sounds
more.
well. That sounds similar, like with the character in Trick or Treat. What was his name? Uh, well,
The father, you're
yeah,
talking
the
about the father.
father. Yeah, the father. What was his name? I mean, the actor who played him. He was in Spider-Man 2, where he didn't play Doc Connors. Oh yeah, Dylan Baker's character.
Yep, yep. I would have
Yeah,
liked to see his version of the lizard.
same. So would I, but unfortunately, that's not going
Yeah,
to happen at this point in time.
there is a missing Spider-Man movie for the Tobey Maguire universe, and I'm hoping now that I say that I don't get a monkey's paws wish, and we don't get a Spider-Man 4, but it's bad.
Yeah, that can go either way. Unless they did what they did with the Batman '89, where they just made a comic book out of it, which I could be okay with that.
Yeah, I could be okay with it. Like I said, it's all
Yeah.
down to the writing. It's all
Right.
down to the writing. If
Right.
you can get Sam to do it, and
Yeah.
he does it right, which possible. I mean, Sam's been on a roll. Sam Raimi, I'm talking about here.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Especially he's got a new horror film coming out this month, and I'm excited to check out.
I'm looking
Now,
forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I just seen. Oh yeah, Drag Me to Hell. But I already talked about
yeah.
that.
Right. You
Which
did.
I say it feels like a Stephen King movie done right.
I guess because he did say it's like basically like Castaway meets Misery, where you have this woman who's an employee who's like basically like mistreated by her boss because her boss are a bunch of fucking assholes who like
Right.
yeah, the
Right.
stereotypical like
Oh, you're talking about the new.
asshole.
You're talking about the new film.
Yeah,
I was talking about
yeah, I'm
Drag Me
talking
to
the new
Hell.
film. Oh, okay, I see. Okay,
I was talking about Drag Me to Hell. Drag Me to Hell kind of felt like a better version of Thinner,
right.
where gypsies and Gypsies Curse. Like I feel like Sam does Stephen King better than Stephen King.
Right. Well, that another like film of like greed and capitalism, where like the rich are getting richer and the middle class
As
disappearing,
long as
all
it's
that
done,
stuff.
right,
Yeah.
I like
Well,
I
that's
said, I love Sam. I love
so
Sam
do I.
Raimi, and I just hope I don't know. I hope he doesn't succumb to politics. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
Like,
Sam Raimi said that wasn't his thought about when he did Drag Me to Hell at the time. It was just a film about a woman who
right,
basically just didn't.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
She
I
basically.
just hope he keeps. I hope he keeps to that. I'd hate to be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's supposed to be, blah blah blah, Trump allegory, because so many people do that.
Right. 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 Yeah. Still,
Anyway,
I'm curious if for Sam Raimi's new horror film, I definitely would go see it and make a YouTube video about it to see what my
yeah,
reaction
probably have to
is.
track it down too. I'm
Yeah.
probably going to see it as well. I saw
Yeah.
an awesome movie. I sent you the trailer for it. Actually, a little
Oh yes,
recommendation.
you did. Yes.
Chuck Steele, Night of
I
the
know.
Trampires.
Right.
It is a giant tribute to 80s action movie and 80s horror movies all at the same time.
Right.
It's like
Okay.
Dirty Harry meets Evil Dead meets the original Fright Night.
Okay. What's it
And
called?
it's Chuck Steele, Night of the Trampires. If you guys haven't seen it, you gotta track it. You gotta track it down. It's great.
I'll have to look into it. You did
It's
send me the
all
trailer of
it's all
that.
stop motion. It's all claymation. It's done like Wallace and Gromit almost.
Right.
But
Gotcha. I like
it's a
Wilson Rom.
giant '80s just love letter parody, and it's great.
Right.
I
Gotcha.
I found it by accident. You know, YouTube.
Interesting.
I went down the
That can
YouTube
happen.
rabbit hole and I saw this thing. It looked like Dirty Harry but claymation, and I checked it out. I'm like, I gotta see
Right.
this. I gotta see the
Well,
soundtrack. It's all '80s metal, and it manages to be a parody of all that, but a sincere love letter to all of it, to
right.
'80s horror, to '80s action movies. It's great.
Right.
Definitely check it
I'll
out.
have to, I'll have to check it out. I have not seen it, but so no
Yeah, and
comment so far.
if you love stop motion claymation,
I like that.
this is some of the best, most fluid, most solid claymation style I've ever seen.
Right. I think sometimes once in a while we always come across a film we did not expect to come across or see, whether it was from
Yeah,
YouTube or any streaming
and
service.
I didn't even realize it came out in 2022. I was like, where was this movie? I'm getting
Well,
recommended it now in the year at the time in the year 2025
right. Well, at that
towards
time it
the
was
end.
during COVID. Well, that time it was still during COVID. I think we were still not sure what new movies were coming out at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always love finding a gem, a movie that
Yeah.
no one knows about. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, sometimes it goes either way. We either will like it or be surprised, or maybe not what we expected sometimes.
Yep, and a lot of times I'm usually blown away by a film. There's very few
Right.
times I discover a film I don't know about and I end up hating. Very, very few.
Well, here's one example. I remember like the American Ring version. People hyped it up, and I didn't see the film until I was older. And when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, like what am I not seeing?
Well, that's the thing. I saw the American Ring, I think first, and I was
Right.
like, I don't get it. I don't
Right.
get this is not scary. And then I went
Right.
back and I saw the original, the
Same. I like the
Ringu,
original better.
and
Yes.
oh my god, the tone. Same thing with the Grudge too. The
Yeah.
Japanese Juon or
Yeah.
Juon.
Juon. Juon.
That's also the tone of that is so much better. It has so much more creepy atmosphere. I love how the ring girl is done in the Japanese version. She's so
Yeah.
much more creepier. I
Yes.
even saw the sequel, the Japanese sequel, Ring 2. That's
I didn't
also
see it.
good. That's
Right.
also very, very good. But
Right.
I don't know. I think the problem is that and it's funny because the American Grudge was directed by the same director.
Yes. Yes.
But I think it comes down to your taste, and I think comparing the Japanese horror to the American horror, especially modern American horror, we're so fixated on jump scares and
Yeah.
CGI and oh my
Yeah.
god, look at this jump scares. At least Japanese, say what you will about Japanese pacing. At least Japanese horror, it lets you sit with the thing,
Right.
and it builds up, it builds tension,
Right.
so it understands
Right.
tension.
Well, that's the way I felt about it with Audition. Like the tension was like done.
Oh yeah,
The lad.
oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm not a squeamish man, but Audition was
Yeah.
hard watch.
Yeah. It was.
It was.
Yeah, I was.
I was squirming. I am not
I
a
was
like a. I'm not a gore hound. But I am not like a squeamish guy. But
yeah.
that in Cannibal Holocaust. That movie had me squirming.
I haven't seen Cannibal Holocaust, so I can't make a comment on that one.
It's good if you want to be shocked.
Right.
If you're looking
Right.
for probably the most shocking movie of the '80s / today, absolutely. But it's really only good for shock value.
Right. Because when I first saw Audition, like the build-up was a little slow, but then eventually the last once we finally got to when she tortures the guy, that's
Oh
where I
yeah,
felt
the
really
torture
disturbed.
scene. The thing I hate about it too is it's slow,
Right,
and you see everything in real time. Like it's not
right,
like one of those quick like Hollywood bunch of jump cuts. Oh, it's always implied. No, you see everything in real
yeah,
time,
yeah,
and it is a slow, methodical torture, and it's oh my god, it's a
yeah.
tough watch. It
About
never.
a guy.
I will never look at. I I I can't. Well, it's the other reason why between Tarantino and this movie, I don't. I hate anything with feet. I hate anything with feet.
Well, I
I
guess
am the opposite of Tarantino. I hate
Tarantino.
anything with feet.
Yeah, well, like I said, after seeing that torture scene, it made me second doubt about dating. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, no. It's funny. I don't know if you remember, but the reason why he goes out on the girl is because his friend said, "Hey, why did
yes,
I
I
set you
remember.
up with said girl?" So it's kind of a cautionary tale of just maybe your friends aren't the best, and that's not necessarily true. It is a movie,
Well, that, and they also set up a fake audition to look for him for a new wife because his previous wife died a couple of years prior, and
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah, that was probably not the smartest thing to do was make it a fake audition for a movie.
You may want to do your background checks on your girls before you do a
Yeah,
fake
that's
audition for
well.
your.
Well, remember, this was 1999. This happened today. He'd probably be going on Match.com or Tinder, whatever is popular for dating sites
I
now.
don't even think there was like there might have been like a precursor to dating sites, but I don't think it was
I
how
don't
it was
know.
now. If it's
I
1999, you're dating on dial up
I
basically.
don't. I mean, I know there was no such thing as a dating site back then, core obviously, but I don't know like how. Well, it's true they say the way they met somebody was at a bar, at least expected sometimes, or maybe through a friend, or
Yeah, and that can go one or
yeah,
two ways.
that's true too. Yeah,
That can go
yeah,
one or two ways. Anyway.
yes.
Speaking of which, did you ever get around to watching American Mary?
I didn't, not yet.
You
No,
should check it out. You
I
should
will
check it
check it
out.
out. Next time,
But
hopefully, I'll be able to get around to saying I saw it. That and Tetsuo the Iron Man.
yeah, Tetsu. Well, Tetsu requires sort of
A taste.
mental buildup. You got to be ready because that
Right.
movie is the love child of David Cronenberg and David Lynch.
I know you
Has the
said.
gore and body horror of David Cronenberg, but the weirdness of David Lynch.
Right, gotcha.
And that movie started because the director really wanted to tick off his dad. He
Right.
basically said, F you, dad, I don't want to be a Japanese salary man. So it has
A
this,
what?
a
A Japanese
Japanese
what?
salary man.
What is that? What is that?
Well, it's basically like kind of a businessman in
Okay.
Japan. I mean, I don't know if there's any guys from Japan watching this, but but yeah, it's basically like a corporate job.
Okay.
It's a corporate
All
job,
right.
right?
All right.
Um,
I
but
never heard of
he's
that.
like basically it has this rebellious spirit, but it's very hard to follow because it's all
Right.
over the place.
Right.
There are stop motion effects. It's all practical. You
Right.
will say probably 17 times, "What the fuck is going on?" And
Right.
was that a drill dick? If you know, you'll know eventually.
Well, I felt the same way with watching the talented like Mr. Ruby. I asked myself, what the hell did I just watch? I don't get
Well, that's
this.
that's it, and that's what I said. I said, "What the hell? What the hell did I just watch, and why was it so awesome?" You know. Like, at
Right.
the end of the film, you're just like mentally, you're just like, okay, we're in it. we're good. We're going. All right, sure,
Right.
whatever.
And I do know the director of this was obviously inspired from Eraserhead. That's where he took the elements and
Yeah,
inspiration for.
obviously, it's like I said, like if Cronenberg, the gore of Cronenberg, the gore and body horror of Cronenberg, and the weirdness of David Lynch, circa Eraserhead, had a baby.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. Like in tone.
like we said on the one of the podcasts we did, saying that's like if Devil's Rejects, the son, if Texas Chainsaw Hillside Vice had a son, that's what you get.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
and the soundtrack, I am convinced, probably inspired. Now, I'm not a fan of them, but Nine Inch Nails.
I've heard it.
It,
I like.
it's literally industrial. The soundtrack.
There. I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of it. There's a few songs I like here and there of theirs.
Yeah,
That's
but the
yeah.
soundtrack literally is industrial metal. They use
Right.
pipes. And it is heavy metal, but you hear like industrial piping. You hear banging of, like, it's literally goes into the theme of becoming metal, becoming,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Which, yeah.
Gotcha. Right.
Anyway,
And okay, like okay, I've been. This is something I wrote down about. Okay, this is. I don't know whether this is going to be a trick question or it's going to be a debate. It's. I watched this video from a YouTuber by the name of the Lost Drive-In River Theater. I'm not sure if I'm saying if I remember the channel, but I'll just edit that in. But here's my point. He made a YouTube video that was a very interesting point about which is better, Black Halloween or Black Christmas, because of how they both came out like 4 years apart. Because Black Christmas came out first, then Halloween, but Halloween overshadowed Black Christmas. Black Christmas did not gain a following until years later.
yeah. I mean, I said this before we started. I mean, I love them both. I love them
Me
both.
too.
But to I think Black Christmas is better just because
Okay.
of, even by today's standards, the original 1974 Black Christmas we're talking about here. Just because it has this sense of dread, this cold sense, like this cold, icy sense of dread, and it's much more vulgar than Halloween is. Even like there's an abortion subplot in
Yeah.
Black Christmas.
Yeah.
The most, not all, but most of the characters are irredeemable.
Yeah. Well,
Most.
except the only exception is Olivia Hussey's character
Right. Well, that's
because
why I say most, not all,
yeah.
but most.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's
and
it's
I
it's
mean,
it's it's,
and I
it's a
mean,
tough decision for her.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, their atmosphere is completely different, but similar. Like I consider the original Halloween's atmosphere sort of like theatrical, sort of like like very theatrical, very much in the spirit of Halloween, where
Yeah.
the original Black Christmas just has a cold, unfeeling,
Yeah. Well, that's true.
chilling,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And the ironic thing is, this director of this went on to do A Christmas Story, one of the most
How I
lighthearted and beloved Christmas movies ever. And then the irony on this, I mean, but
how
in terms
ironic.
of in terms of I think what movie sticks with me more after I watch it, what gives me an uncomfortable chill after I watch it, I think Black Christmas. But
Right.
everyone's mileages may vary. I love
Yeah.
them both,
Well,
honestly.
well, I feel the same way. I love them both. They have their place and purpose. But to me, it's Halloween because I saw that first before I knew anything about what Black Christmas was.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And same. I saw Halloween first,
Right.
but in my opinion, what's I think more memorable, I think, and I love Halloween. I'm not putting Halloween down, but what
Right.
sticks with me more, what leaves an impression on me more personally, is the original Black Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I think the other thing too about Black Christmas, it shows that even bad things and crazy things can happen during a happy,
Oh
jolly
yeah,
Christmas time of the year. That's what I like
yeah,
about it. What Pop
and
Mark
it
explained
shows
in this.
that not all Christmas movies can be lighthearted.
Jolly. That's
On
true.
that subject, you want to do our little top three alternative
One
movies?
before we do that, I just have to get this out of my system and rant about how much I hate the 2006 Black Christmas remake. It is garbage. It's trash. It's awful. It's over the top with the gore. The characters, they suck. Again, I don't give a shit if these characters live or die, and the background story on the villain, it ruins it. It's like, come on, we don't need a background story on the villain on why he's a killer. It's like, give me a break. And also, if you wait. If you thought Tarantino's foot fetish was a problem, the killer has an eye foot fetish problem. Literally, he kills his victims and eats their fucking eyeballs.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I never saw any of the remakes for that reason.
Then you have a rare gift. And again, on the last note too, the background story in the killer is fucked up. I'm sorry, part of my friendship, but I have to address the elephant in the room. Sorry, that was someone was coming in, but anyway, yes, that apparently the villain was born with some rare jaundice disease, but I don't know what it was. But here's my point, though, and it felt like they were going for a poor man's version of Psycho, where the killer had mother issues.
Right.
Yes, and here's another thing I have to rant about that just cringes me every time I watch it. That the mother killed the father, and the son was like locked up for years, and she had a new boyfriend, and apparently the boyfriend could not perform to conceive a new child. So what does the mother do? She goes up to the attic and rapes her son. You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. That's what she does.
Yep. It sounds like this movie's completely guano. Honestly,
it is guano. It is. It is just. I don't know what it is. And people like this movie. I don't get it. What am I not seeing?
Well, I mean, some people like batshit movies, and I get so. That, and like I said, spoiler alert for the original, which is nearly, 50 years old now? 74?
1974.
1974? Okay. One of the very coolest things about the original is you don't find out who the killer is.
Right.
It's never explained. And that's cool. The fact that this does a 180 and gives it all this unnecessarily backstory, we're talking about the remake now. The fact that the remake gives it, it destroys the mystery. And it does. And the subtlety of it.
And to top it off, the killer kills his mother, the boyfriend, and basically skins his mother's skin into cookies. I'm sorry to say.
Like I said, it just sounds like it's funny because it kind of reminds me of what the Terrifier series is. Yes. Now, I like the first Terrifier for what it is, but over the years, like I saw the second one, and I couldn't shake the feeling that this guy, whoever directed it, wanted to be so over the top.
His name is Damien Leone, who directed the Terrifier movies.
Damien Leone. Well, I'm sorry to call you out. I'm sorry to call you out, Damien, but whoever was on your writing staff, I feel like they try so hard to be gory and shocking, and it's
that was the same thing with the 06 Black Christmas remake. It tried too hard to be
that's what this reminds me of. This, it's like, all right, we get it. Your killer kills people in horrible ways. Right. Make the kills more memorable rather than, seeing how many times you could split them open and use their guts for cookies or whatever, or for shock value or what. I get it, but there's a much more effective way to do that. But then again,
right. Again, I apologize, everyone. I just had to get that rant out of my system.
We all have to engage our rant. All right, we gotta flex that rant muscle. It's a healthy thing to do. That's why we are fans. We all have the movie that we love and hate, and sometimes we gotta rant. It's healthy. It's therapeutic.
Yes. I went full angry video game nerd nostalgia critic.
It's healthy. It's a healthy thing to do. That's what makes us fans. It's healthy. It's passion. We have to show our passion sometimes when we're fans.
Yeah.
But
to me, the 06 Black Christmas remake is a huge thumbs down, and I hate it.
It's that guano that needs to be flushed.
Right. Right. Because I don't plan on doing a video on it. This is the podcast right here. This is where I'll just
Yep.
edit it as a YouTube clip. Yeah. Like what I've been
Anyway,
doing lately for certain podcast clips in the past.
yeah, I know it is. Well, that's why I've been kind of promoting these clips when you have me in them on kind of like mini Creatures of the Night podcast.
Right. Well, I figure, it's like, what the heck? It's like I did a video on it for this podcast. I'll just put it on my channel. What the heck?
Frankenstein it together.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I did with the like when we did Pulp Fiction podcast. I Frankenstein it together.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. All right.
yeah.
Well, on to the positive note, I wanted to kind of put
Yes.
this in. I know this is late, we're past the Christmas season, but
Yes.
John,
It's okay.
what are at least 3 of your favorite non-traditional Christmas movies?
Okay. Sorry, I apologize. I burped right there. One is Batman Returns, which we've talked about a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, that would have
Eyes
to be
Wide
one of mine.
Yes, Eyes Wide Shut. This one's a bit of a quiet taste and a bit of an orgy right here.
We'll bet.
Yeah. And number 3, Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, that's another one where I don't necessarily think of it as a Christmas movie, but technically,
Well,
if we're going on the premise of that it has to take place on Christmas, yeah.
yeah.
For
What about
me,
you?
yeah, for me, definitely Batman Returns. It takes
Right.
place on Christmas. They have a Christmas tree lighting. A
Yep.
lot of the references, in terms of the very last line of the movie is a reference to Santa Claus. So
Right,
it's
yes.
as Christmas as you come. Number 2, I'd have to say Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Okay.
It's technically like I consider it like a double feature because the first half of that movie is literally the first movie told in flashback and
Right.
in flashback. I couldn't speak today, but
Well, did you see the recent remake they made to it recently?
I did not. I love both of them.
Okay, I'm talking about the one that came out last month or year.
Right, I have to see it myself. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it yet either, but go on. Not to interrupt you.
But yeah, it's kind of a double feature, and it's goofy. It's over the top, and I love it. And number 3,
Garbage Day.
yes, the famous Garbage Day. I love just the fantastic delivery he gives. Oh, there you are, haha. It's like the actor looks like he's having the time of his life in the role.
Right. Right.
And I guess you can put both Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2 on there as like a double feature.
Okay.
And of course, number 3 would definitely be the original Black Christmas.
Right.
The original '74 Black Christmas, because like we said before, it's just so chilling and just
Yeah.
it leaves you with like just this uncomfortable chilling, like even as like especially as an adult, like understanding a lot of because I saw it when I was a teenager and I was like, that's a
Really?
cool. Yeah, I saw it. I
Really.
was like, that's a really cool movie. But as an adult, there are things that stay with you. It sticks with you.
Right. Right. Well, it's a very cold movie for sure. The original Black Christmas.
Yeah, it's very cold and unfeeling and just a nasty little piece of cinema, but I love it.
Yeah. Me too. No, it's definitely one of the best like Christmas horror films and one of the best like horror films in general. Period.
I have to mention this. I always forget
What's
this.
that?
I don't know if it's a traditional Christmas movie. I think it is. Better Off
What's that?
Dead.
I didn't see it.
Better Off Dead with John Cusack. You should see it. It's a great Christmas movie. I
Never
consider
saw
it more of a traditional Christmas movie, but it's hilarious.
Right. Right. Well, I feel like everyone has their like go-to like that it's not a Christmas traditional, but people just watch it because it takes place at Christmas. Like for me, it's Batman Returns.
Yeah, for my dad, it's Die Hard.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah, my dad. For my dad, it's Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. Back to that.
Right. I admit I rarely have watched Die Hard at Christmas, or the same with Lethal Weapon.
I watch it, but I don't hail it as a. I mean,
No.
I can see how it makes it as a Christmas movie, but it's not my favorite.
Right.
If we're going
Right.
Christmas action movies, I'd go with Cobra. before I'd go with Die Hard.
That's interesting.
But Cobra has a couple
Well,
scenes
well,
that
well,
does
well,
take place.
well, that well, that's the same thing with Rambo: First Blood. There's like a Santa Claus poster with drinking Coke.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the same with Cobra. Cobra, there is a scene where it does take place on Christmas. There's Christmas
Right.
stuff in the shopping center, so it is a
Yeah.
Christmas, and they do have Christmas commercials.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
even though it's in California and there's no snow or
Yes.
whatever,
No. No.
um, it
No.
does take place during Christmas. So
That's true because
that's
there's
my
a scene where
criteria, and I'm sticking to it.
there's a scene in the movie I remember where he's at his apartment, he's eating some pizza, and he puts on the television. There's Christmas commercials of like
Yeah.
cartoons or something,
Yeah.
and then of course it cuts to like who could be the serial killer that's on the loose that's trying
It's
to
a
be
great,
caught.
it's a great movie. It's a great movie. Underrated,
Yeah.
underrated
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, maybe in the future we'll do a podcast dedicated to Cobra.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes. And also, since speaking of now, I recently found out that both Betty Boop and the cartoon of Pluto are entering the public domain, and wouldn't you know it, they're making horror movies of these characters. Gee, what a surprise, and what a predicament.
I mean, I've seen screenshots of the Betty Boop slasher,
So did
and
I.
I'm like, okay. Here's a thought. If you ever seen any of the Max Fleischer cartoons,
I did, yes.
right?
It's funny you say that.
They always
I
have an
feel-
undertone of horror, spookiness.
It's funny you say that. During Christmas, me and my dad were watching some old Max Fleischer
I
cartoons.
love it. It's still like the animation, and keep in mind, folks, this came out in the 20s or the
Actually, more like the 30s and the 40s,
30s?
around that
30?
era.
yeah
30s and 40s.
late 20s, early 30s. The animation still to this day is so fluid
Yeah,
and so just smooth.
yeah. And I also have a DVD copy that I got as a kid with like all of like the Christmas Fleischer cartoons, Rudolph, or I can't remember them all, but we'll talk about that maybe in a future podcast.
Yeah, but to put a finer note on it, if you really, really, really wanted to do a horror film on Betty Boop,
Betty Boop.
you could have easily made it like an occult film about maybe kind of like a Bendy and the Ink Machine kind of thing, the video game. The premise of that was the cartoonist made a deal with the devil to bring his cartoons to life. Right, and it's done in that Max Fleischer style, and it's clearly a nod to Max Fleischer.
Right. If you remember my rant about why I don't like the Disney public domain films, I am not interested in watching this Betty Boop public domain horror film. But the only way I'll get through it if I have a couple of whiskey or other drinks by my side and watch it drunk and pretend.
Yep. Or if they really wanted to do it, may they rest in peace. I think the company that should have done it, may they rest in peace, is Full Moon.
Right.
At least they would have made it enjoyable.
Right. But still, I just don't think I'm not interested or desperate to see it. And like I said, I'll watch it.
I'll give it a hard pass.
Yeah.
Like I said, if they really wanted to do a horror film on Betty Boop, I really think they should have leaned into the Max Fleischer occult kind of thing on the cartoons, and they could have made it like a demon, kind of thing with the cartoons.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll watch it drunk, and then somebody asked me what did I think of it. I don't remember. I was so drunk, I wasn't paying attention.
You'd just be like, boop, 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 whatever. Yep. But by that circumstance, and this is why I think instead of that cartoon, you should go and see American Mary. That is a better Betty Boop movie than Betty Boop.
Well, as I mentioned before in this podcast, the movie Pearl with Mia Goth, the way Mia Goth.
I still need to see it. I just got around to X.
Well, if you look at a picture of the way she looks in the film, she looked a little bit like Betty Boop as an axe murderer.
Well, going back to American Mary, when you see that movie, you'll know what I'm talking about when I mention Betty Boop. There is a character that is supposed to be in plastic surgery.
Right.
She's supposed to resemble Betty Boop.
Right. Well, what's his name? Dr. Herbert West would be very proud then.
Yeah. Well, it's less Herbert West and more Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets, I don't know, what's a good plastic surgery film.
I can't think of one right now off the top of my head.
Well, yeah, you definitely see American Mary, underrated horror film.
I don't know, unless you want to count Island of Dr. Moreau because of how he takes.
It has nothing to do with animals, though.
Okay, never mind. Then that doesn't count. That was a bad one. Scratch that. I tried.
I'd say it's probably akin to like May, the film May. I keep mentioning.
Yes.
Again, guys, another great film, American Mary and May. Definitely should watch. Great film.
But actually, wait. I apologize. 1 second. That's
Un momento, guys. He's off to do something. I'm not sure what it is.
Yep.
But yeah, I think guys.
Because it's time. Think of this as like show and tell. Yes, I'm back. It was a quick. It's time to show what I got this Christmas.
Oh yeah, Christmas presents.
Yes, I got James Rolfe's book, The Gnome Cave, horror idea that he's had for years in his mind.
Nice.
Yes. I was surprised. It was a quick, short read. I thought it was going to be like a longer book, but no, it's a short book.
Some of the best stories are short stories.
That's very true too. Clyde Barker.
Yeah, my book that I have to republish is actually technically a short story.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Yep. Yeah. Despite the title, but there's actually a little bit of a darker meaning behind this once you read it. I mean, yes, there's maybe a little bit of cheesy corniness to it, but again, highly recommend to check it out for curiosity to see, like, wow, like James Rolfe wrote a horror book that could be maybe someday into a movie if he wanted to. Maybe. But sometimes in life, you got to be flexible and do have backup plans. If it's not going to be made into a movie, make a book out of it. Better than nothing.
Yeah, well, that's what I did with my books. That's why I have an album on my channel. Shameless plug here. My Metal Knight Records channel. An album called Dead Girl, the tragedy and redemption of.
Gotcha. And a graphic novel to London After Midnight, considered the holy grail of missing films and film history and horror. And, well, I don't know. If they found Edison's Frankenstein, then maybe they could find this movie someday. Maybe. You never know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
I guess
it's on my bucket list. Hopefully that someday they'll find this movie and restore it.
Oh, you never know. I just hope they don't AI it. That's the only thing.
It's funny you say that. My friend
It'd be a monkey's paws wish with that, my friend.
My friend says that he would be okay with that, only just to give us the idea of what the film was like when it came out in 1927.
Right, but then you would have like a recreation rather than the original.
I get my friend's point, but that could still go either way. Yeah. So, but I'm in the middle of reading this. It's pretty good so far. It's giving me an idea of what the movie was. But I know that I remember as a kid in the 2000s, there's a Lon Chaney DVD collection where they used still images of like giving us the sense of what it was like. And again, this was way before like what technology is now.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. That's as close as it gets in my life to seeing a London After Midnight is a restored like images of the movie.
Yeah, but who knows, Who knows?
Yeah, and also some Blu-ray goodies that I got. I got this Mario Bob. No, wait, that's not Mario Bob. Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, it is. I'm sorry. Mario Bava's Planet Vampires. This is one I've not seen of Mario Bava's yet. Eventually, at least. And I got 2 CD soundtracks. Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, and Alfred Hitchcock's The Man Who Knew Too Much. I've never even seen the movie. This was like a surprise.
Yeah, it's on my movie list. I have to see it too. Yeah.
The new Superman film. Thank you that we got a better Superman film than we had the last 20 years.
I've heard mixed reviews of it, but I have to see it myself.
It was a breath of fresh air and better than Man of Steel. It made me believe Superman films still exist. And Blood and Lace. I'll admit I don't know much about it, but again,
I saw, it's funny that you have that. I saw that film a long time ago. I don't remember a thing about
all
it.
right. All right. Well, my I always enjoy a surprise when my dad gives me a nice Christmas present like this. Like if I don't know it, I'll watch it blind and see what to expect.
Yeah, it's nice to have a
Yes.
little Easter egg,
Yes.
little gem.
Karate Kid Legends. Wax on, wax off.
Nice.
Yes. Definitely was a good. I saw this twice when it came out. I saw it with my niece and nephew, and they loved it. I'm thinking to myself, I grew up watching the Karate Kid movies. Here I am with my niece and nephew, creating a new memory. Like
The
watching a
more
new
things
Karate Kid.
change, the more they stay the same, huh?
Oh yeah, yes. And I got this old. This is basically like Alfred Hitchcock Presents or Twilight Zone with Boris Karloff. Opening and representing.
Interesting.
Yes, I never. Again, I did not know what it was. I'm going to check it out for curiosity to see what's.
I'd have to
Yes.
check it out.
Yes, I've only seen one episode so far with Leslie Nielsen. It was very good so far, but it's only the beginning.
Nice. Very nice.
And I got both Airplane on 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. Don't Call Me Shirley.
Don't Call Me Shirley, one of my favorites.
Yes. Well, can never go wrong with Leslie Nielsen.
Never go wrong. The king of deadpan. King
Yes.
of deadpan.
It's a different type of flying. We have to get these people to a hospital. What's that? It's a place with patients, but that's not important. I can watch Leslie Nielsen all day, even if he is bad.
Oh yeah. Did you get a chance to see the new Naked Gun?
No.
Give it a shot.
I don't know. It's just not good.
If not for Mr. If not for what's his face? I can't think of his name.
Who?
I'm drawing a blank. You know who I'm talking about. 18 and Taken.
Oh yes, yeah, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Okay.
If not for Liam Neeson, Pam Anderson.
Right.
Pam Anderson.
Well,
she kind of steals the movie.
Right.
In my opinion, she's the best and funniest part of that movie.
Right. Well, let's just
Leslie Nielsen.
Liam
Neeson. Excuse me. Their names are similar. I'm playing them. Okay. Liam Neeson kind of gets the deadpan.
Right.
But kind of like it lands, but it doesn't.
Every time I saw the trailer, he just was not like doing it for me for his comedy. And
no.
You know what? He faked every joke.
Yep.
Faked every
but in my opinion, watch it for Pam Anderson.
Okay.
She was the best part of that movie.
It's just anytime I go back to Naked Gun, it's always Leslie Nielsen. It's never Naked Gun without Leslie Nielsen.
This is true, but
yes,
I think Pam Anderson is very funny. She's
right.
Anyway,
I don't know. It's just you can't top Leslie Nielsen. I'm sorry.
No, you can't. And they try. Yeah. Or do they try?
Yeah, but if I don't like it, I'm gonna have to do what Stephanie did when he got in the car with her: extend your left arm out and extend your middle finger to the remake. All right. Anyway, I got this huge encyclopedia book of movie posters, and again, this was also an unexpected gift in a good way because I am a movie poster fanatic. I don't care what anybody says because
so am I.
I can sit down all day and basically think of it this way: if there was an art museum dedicated to movie posters, I can just sit there all day and look at them.
Same.
Yes,
there are some gorgeous movie posters.
Yes.
I always loved the poster for. I know it's kind of like everybody knows it, but the original poster for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
The artist behind that, the artist for the film Maniac.
Right.
That one looks like a heavy metal album cover.
Right.
There are some gorgeous posters, but anyway.
Right. Well, maybe in the future, again, that could be a future podcast talking about our favorite movie posters and art designs. And
that'll definitely be a long one for sure.
Yes.
There's a lot.
Well, on a brief note, I like a couple basic Turner Classic old Hollywood movie posters, and I also love the poster to Blade Runner and let's see what's
The Shadow also.
Oh yeah, the
Strange.
Shadow. Okay, Shadow and Dark Man with Sam Raimi.
Yep, yep.
Yes.
And quick question:
Go ahead.
which Evil Dead Army of Darkness poster do you like?
Oh, that is a oh get
There are some really
it's
goofy ones. There's one that looks like a heavy metal album cover that has Bruce Campbell raising his very muscly arms to the sky, completely
right,
shirtless to Evil Ash. I used to
right.
have that one, and the one I
Okay,
currently have is like a hero poster. It's got um, the little ashes clutching at his leg, and the girl clutching at his leg like a superhero. Again, Bruce Campbell super muscly, super
right.
exaggerated muscly, which I don't think he ever had those muscles in real life. But I just
Unless
love that they draw him like an action hero.
I know.
It's just great.
I mean, even though some of an action here, but he's not like Arnold or Stallone, where he's like
No,
completely
but that's how they drew him on the posters, like super exaggerated man
right,
of war
right.
heavy
Uh,
metal style.
right. I think I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm gonna have to like think about it. Also, maybe in the future we'll
Maybe in the
discuss that.
future we'll save that for
Yeah.
another time for sure.
Yes. Yes. Like I said, this was a cool man. I wasn't expecting this to be like the encyclopedia movie posters. Ugh.
But there you go. And
Makes me sick.
to put a finer things on some of the things I got for Christmas. In terms of
Hold on.
oh,
I have a book about the making of The Crow. When I saw this, I'm like, yes, I must have it. The Precious.
it's great, and we've talked about the Crow in length. I'm a huge Crow fan. I have
Me
the
too.
original comic book. I love the movie. The movie has inspired a lot of my own work,
Yes.
um, and it has with some of the most, at least the comic book, has some of the most gorgeous artwork done by James L. Barr and one of my favorite artists, Michael Zulli of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fame, and I think Sandman as well for all you Neil Gaiman fans out there.
Right.
Um, but yeah, the comic is great, the movie is great, and we discussed before we started. It's a miracle that it even got made, that it even the movie even
Yeah.
exists, given that
Yeah.
Brandon Lee's death, and they kind of just
Impacts of that.
used what they had, and it still came out to be a great movie. And it's one of my favorite Halloween movies, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Right.
The
Same.
remake, the remake does not exist. It is an
What?
apparition. Excuse me.
What remake?
What remake exactly? What remake? You mean remake? You're talking about the book, right? You want us to read the book, right? The book is so much better.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea. No idea. There's really
This is
only
the
the
only
two
one.
films. There's really only the two films in my view, but there's really only the one film.
This is the only Crow film I'm aware of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So far, I'm rating it very interesting, and some things I know. It's like okay, this part I didn't know about the movie and stuff. Like also, like any story, like a guy like James O'Barr when he wrote The Crow, he got rejected a couple of times because people didn't get his story at first.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I will tell, and I believe I explained this in length last time, but James L. Barr personally came from a foster home background. He was
Yeah.
really shuffled around from family to family. Like this guy had the worst life in his
Right.
entire life,
Right.
and and unfortunately, the death of his beloved girlfriend was the catalyst for making The Crow. A
Yes.
lot, and
Yes.
if you read the book, you can definitely see he was writing a lot of his pain, a lot of what he was feeling, and in the
Yeah.
book, the girlfriend physically is modeled after his own girlfriend. So there's a
Yes.
lot of James Abar said when he was writing the book, it was therapy, and he was
Yeah.
debating on whether to release it or not.
Well,
I'm
that's what I
glad he
say.
did because it definitely hits harder than the film does. But that's not putting the film down in any measure. The film is great in its own right.
Right. Well, it's true they say art can be very therapeutic because
Yeah,
on a similar note, during COVID at the time, like making my YouTube channels was therapeutic.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny. for me, the comic book holds an extra special place in my heart because it was one of the last things my grandfather left me as part of his comic book collection. I didn't know I had it, until and I didn't know I had it until I looked into his collection, and this was when he was still alive. But
Right.
having it now, and he was such a big fan of the movie too, and a big fan of Brandon Lee too, and Bruce Lee.
Right.
And having it now is like having a piece of him, and that the book influenced me so much in my own work. Eventually, I hope to get you guys out my book known as Dead Girl, and its sequel eventually.
Right.
When I
Well,
get back to it.
like with mentioning about James Rolfe making his horror idea into a book, I'm doing the same thing with my horror idea. I'm writing it into a book.
Yeah, yeah. My books have already been written. I had one of them published at the time, but my publisher wasn't the best. So
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, it didn't stick around long. Eventually, when I have time in between making my music on my Metal Night channel, I will try and get
Yeah.
them published for you.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if you want both stories, I do have them in musical form. For my
Right.
Steel Rebellion band, my
Right.
AI Steel Rebellion band on my Metal Night channel. They are a concept album, both the books. So you get to basically hear the heavy metal version of both those stories.
Right. Right.
But
And speaking of, like I said before, about how making my YouTube channel was therapeutic. Recently, Adam, I don't know if a YouTuber named Adam the Woo passed away about a month ago. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy.
no,
He was a YouTuber. Basically, he went around to like movie locations and old amusement parks. Actually, I used to watch him with my sister back like years ago, and
right.
at the time when I was learning about how to edit videos, he was like a basically beginner resource at the time.
Right. Well,
So
that's like me and James Rolfe and Nostalgia Critic back in the
right,
day.
right.
Yeah,
I just want to say thank you to Adam the Woo for helping me learn how to make basic YouTube videos for the time and learn to advance too.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes it takes a fellow fan to really inspire you, and
Yeah,
that's what we try and do with this podcast here. We hope to
yeah,
inspire you guys to do the things that you love,
yeah.
and
Hope so.
and pursue the passions that you want to pursue.
True,
You know.
true, true. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, I guess, well, one more thing I also have. As knowing you, not Mr. Tarantino fan, I'm sorry to say this before they start throwing stuff at my house and knocking at my door with trying to execute me.
oh
I'm
boy.
sorry to say, I'm sorry to say this, but I am no longer officially a Kevin Smith fan that much anymore. Sorry, guys.
Well, it's funny because I don't know if it had anything to do with his diet. I
No,
love old Kevin Smith. I'm a big fan of Clerks, the original Clerks. And to
right.
a lesser degree, I like Clerks too. Okay,
Eh,
Mallrats I like. But I love Fat Man on Batman, the original Fat Man
that,
on Batman, the
well,
Batman podcast. But I
you
don't know,
know,
there was something that happened to him. I don't know if he got too involved in politics or maybe he's just starving due to his vegan diet.
I don't know what to tell you.
But
It's hard to say.
it's
Well,
just things happen. People change.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
true. I don't know. I just feel as I get older, my tastes change a little bit sometimes.
yeah, I used to be. I can tell you, I used to be a Nostalgia Critic fan. But
Same.
after a couple of his videos and a couple of things, the unsavory things I kind of heard behind the scenes, which I'm not really necessarily sure are 100% true,
Right.
I've kind of soured, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that happens. That happens. Listen,
It
everyone's
does.
entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I just got tired of like seeing the same thing. How we like with overusing Jay and Silent Bob in every movie, or
Yeah, and I think the novelty of his stuff kind of weared off. I mean, when you're
yeah,
basically doing the same thing for almost 30 years in the same.
Yeah.
Kind
It, it,
of what
it was
makes
based.
Kevin
It was
Smith
based.
work is he was kind of the vein on the nerd culture at the time.
Yeah, true.
Right? That's why his 90s stuff works, because it was contemporary. It was of the
Yeah.
time. And now you're dealing with, several generations of nerds that they're not like that anymore.
Yeah.
And
No.
it's kind of like that scene from 30 Rock, with Steve Buscemi. How do you do, fellow kids? That kind of thing. Of just the old man trying to be relevant with the kids, and it's like, no, it's not working.
Right. Well, I don't know. I guess also like trying to. I don't know. It's just hard to describe like why I'm just don't have the taste for Kevin Smith that much anymore. It's hard to say.
That's all right. Chase
Yeah.
change, and we all have our
It
own opinions.
does. Yeah. True.
Okay.
True. Yeah. I mean, it's not, and I admit, he's from New Jersey, and I have a lot of family out there. I love New
Yeah,
Jersey
I
because
have
of my
family
cousins.
too out
Yes.
there.
Yes.
I'm talking to them, but not the
Here and
best,
there.
not the best people.
Well, I guess it's more on my dad's side. I have the best bond with my cousins than my mom's side, but that's a different story. I don't want to get too much into, but
Yeah,
still.
let's not
Yeah.
get into personal stuff.
Yeah, let's not get
We're
into
not
personal.
doxing on the channel here.
No,
Uh,
no, no.
anyway,
No, no. This is just my own personal opinion why I don't think Kevin Smith was not as all glamorous I thought at the time compared to, yeah.
yeah, I like his old stuff. That's
But the only
about it.
the only exception for me for Kevin Smith is his Daredevil comic book.
Yes, Guardian Devil is great.
Yes. Yeah, I'm surprised, but I will admit, to his credit, I'm surprised he hasn't directed a comic book film like he had planned or hoped to.
Yeah, well, don't hope for that too hard. You might get a monkey's paw.
No.
You might get Daredevil doing a very horrible Mark Waid Daredevil run where he smokes pot, and they keep referring to him as Red Batman.
Right.
And that happened in the Mark Waid run in the comics, by the way.
Right.
That's where I don't like Mark Waid, because he is the hipster writer for Daredevil.
Right.
I'd say more Frank Miller, less Mark Waid for Daredevil.
Yeah, I could agree. I could agree on that one. But Frank Miller all the way for Daredevil.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about Daredevil sometime.
I would like that too.
Maybe we'll do that as another episode.
For a little small announcement in the future, I want to do a podcast talking about like underrated or overrated 2000 like Marvel films, like Daredevil 2003. I don't.
Yeah, the director's cut's great.
Yes.
I will be there with bells on. I love me some Daredevil.
I finally saw it. It was. I mean, I saw it before in the past, but years ago on television. But they only cut out certain parts.
Yes.
Yeah. I finally saw the whole thing on its own, like with no like jump cuts or a TV interruption.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is probably better than what we got back when it first came out.
Yeah, and I saw the director's cut very, very pretty recently, and I couldn't shake the feeling that it reminded me so much of The Crow.
You think so?
Yeah. Go back and watch that, and watch The Crow, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, I will admit, it's not perfect. I will admit, it's good on its own, but I feel like it does like Ben Affleck at that time did a lot of bad movies, and that's not one of his worst things.
No,
his acting's a little bit here and
Jennifer Gardner ruined Elektra for a while, I will say.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we got a better version in the Netflix series.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the original Netflix series. They're not doing it.
I know what you're talking about. Like, to me, Ben Affleck, it's hit or miss with him, with his performance as Daredevil in the movie.
Right.
He's
not bad. He's not bad.
I did like the one scene like where like he's at the coffee shop with Foggy Nelson, because this was not in the original cut. He didn't ask questions like, "How come you have like these cuts or bruises?"
And we did not in the original theatrical cut. We did not get Karen Page either.
No, we did. Well, briefly for like 5 seconds.
I'm just saying, it's a nice little Easter egg.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was in the regular cut, but just only a brief like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
She had more screen time a little bit in the director's cut, but only for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Nothing to it.
but still, it's a nice addition.
Yeah, and that Ben Affleck had to just say a Fight Club joke, saying we don't talk about Fight Club, and Foggy said they never saw the movie.
Yeah, there's
Like,
some.
okay, it's like, okay,
Yeah,
this is 2003 Ben Affleck trying too hard.
and boy, is it 2003 complete with
It
evidence.
is.
Boy,
Yep.
it is 2003 squared. I'm like, hello.
Yeah. Like I
Anyway,
said, in the future we'll do like a more in depth about it in the future when I do a
absolutely,
rewatch. Yeah, but
absolutely.
that's about everything I've summed up what got out of my system.
All right, do you want to call it here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've been Wolfman Sam here with my partner Johnny Buff Guns, and this has been Creatures of the
Creatures of
Night.
the Night. We will see you all next time.
Next time. All right. See you guys later.